everyone, it's Galinda with Fralins and Friends. I have been getting ready to paint this barn, and over the last couple of days I've prepared the canvas. I'll let you see what I've done. There. Okay. I prepared the canvas. I put 2 coats of white on there. I'm going to do a barn. I'm going to do an old looking barn. Try to do one similar to the one where I grew up. So, and I'm still making, but the bottom of this barn was stone, and it had openings on each end. So I'll put an opening on this end, and the top of it was wood, and there was a big door here, so I'm going to have to put that in. But let's just get started. First, it was kind of built right at a hill. We lived in the Flint Hills, and this was like a smaller one in that corral, and so it just kind of gradually went up here. So, but it looked, the back half of the barn was more or less built into the hill. Turn this around. I used a lot of white in it. There. Okay. Now these are going to be, these are old boards, so they're going to be kind of a light brown mostly. A painter an artist stopped out there once and asked if he could paint a picture of that barn. And of course it was a lot different than this and a lot better than this. And I tell you, my folks just fell in love with it. He did it, he just gave it to him. But he just wanted to paint it once. And he did such a beautiful job. There was another bigger barn down there, and it was like, well, the bottom of it was built into the hill as well, and the bottom of it was stone, but it was partial. Parts of it were open. I think it was stone. Anyway, parts of it were open at the bottom, that very bottom part. They were open they used it for farrowing sows when they'd have pigs, have baby piggies. I want this to look kind of aged, so I'm going to leave some spots here and there that aren't going to be really very And I forgot my door. Okay, let's do this. Yeah, I'll have to paint this part out, except for that bottom board, and we used to play in this barn. They had hay in the top part here, in this floor, and we would make hay tunnels and hay forts, and sometimes we'd play hide and seek in there. A couple of times, well, we weren't so good at our architecture, and once or twice they collapsed. And it was always good when nobody was in there if they collapsed. Later this week, I am going to plan to do something in watercolor again. Probably something with a Valentine theme, or maybe just something that could be used for a Valentine theme. And maybe that I'll try to do that in watercolor. And then I'll see if I can do one or two more of these magnets. I don't think I'll do more of those with roses, because that time period's going to run out before I can get anything done with them. But you are certainly welcome to. Now, I've had a lot of suggestions for paintings, and I've done a lot of them, and a lot of them are very, a lot of people are very happy to see them, because it's something they can work with themselves and stuff. So, but I haven't, as of yet, done any commissioned work, because, well, I just haven't had the confidence for that. That doesn't mean that I won't sell what I've got. And I think our store will be open soon, or our shop, but it would be fine if any of the ones I've already done, somebody would like to ask a price for, or whatever. Okay, I'm going to let that dry a bit, and I'll put the shingles on. Let me get this part done, and then later I'll put the shingles on. I lightened that gray down quite a bit, and it still turned out darker than I wanted, but that's okay. Stone can be of a lot of different, And not all limestone is light gray or brown, although most of it was that we had. I'm gonna let this dry and I'll be back, and I want to put like a cloud or two up here and get some separation and texture on this stone. And I will paint this out here, these right there, because, and put a barn door thing on there. And I'll hopefully get back in here and get that much done tonight, and then tomorrow hopefully finish it. There you go. I'll show, turn it around so you can see where I'm at on it. And I still have to do shingles and the grass and a pan over here. There was an in this lower part on this end was kind of an arch like that, but it had a stall. It had just one stall in there for milking. Dad would have one cow that he would milk usually, and that was enough. It was just enough for our family. We weren't running dairy. It was enough for our family, and they bought a little homogenizer or something. Anyway, I'll be back in a bit. Well, hopefully that looks pretty good. I do want to do one thing here. There. Oops. Oh, and that's, oh, that, okay. All right, I'm not going to do too much on those boards because they do kind of look weathered like that. But what I'll do something, but it's not going to be, I might put some streaks of dark brown in there or something where, but I think for tonight, what I'm going to do to finish this off is, I'm just going to put a couple of clouds. I'm going to turn it around. Because I get my hand in that paint, and then I'm getting paint where I don't want it in the painting. I could use a different brush for that. These aren't stormy clouds, they're just clouds. Nice little cirrus clouds. Okay, that's all I'm going to do for tonight. I've still got work to do on it, I realize that. Well, of course I do. So we'll be doing that tomorrow. I'd like to finish it tomorrow. I can't guarantee it, but considering all the stuff I did with the stone, I think I did a pretty good time tonight. So, and I think the stone has looked, it's popping more now than what it did. We'll work on this again tomorrow. Let's see, what is today's Monday? Yeah, tomorrow. Hopefully I will get it almost finished tomorrow. I think I can get pretty darn close. Because the big thing I think is going to be the shingles. And yeah, once I get those done and then get some interior stuff and then get the grassy hill and all that stuff done, I think it won't take that terribly long. I'm going to have to wash these again. Love you. Take care of yourselves. Smile and wave at someone. Hey, it got up to 47 degrees today. That's a heat wave this time of year. But it's going to dive again and then it'll go up again. But I don't think February is supposed to be a really, really cold month. It's generally January and February are the coldest months here, but it sounds like, according to some, February might not be too bad. So we'll see. We'll see. I can't speak, but I will see you. Good night.